Yay! Hello, beautiful humans.
Hello. Welcome back to our season 2 of our spring summer version of Talk by Heart. We're so happy that you're here. Hello, Jazz. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, welcome, Jazz. So we are really excited actually because this is our first first wellbeing talk of not only spring summer but of the year, right?
Yeah.
We took the end of last year off, and we spent a little bit of time hibernating and planning some special things for all of our Wild Within community. And this is one of them. So we're back starting with Jazz, and then from April, May, and June, we also have 3 more incredible humans that we're going to be talking to. And please head to our Instagram, check out our latest post, and you'll be able to find out exactly who we're going to be sitting down and getting into wild conversation with beyond Jazz. But today we are here with Jazz, and we're really excited to find out more about what she does, how she navigates her industry, and how she stays wild within. So, welcome, Jazz.
Hey girlies, hey, so good to be here.
So good to have you. Like, honestly, you've been on our wish list of guests.
Yeah, since last summer.
Yeah.
Ages. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we were supposed to do it last summer and then I got COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
True that.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Oh my God. I know. Can't even go there with COVID.
Let's not.
But and also Layla and I came to your most recent sound bath,
Oh, yeah.
which was just, oh my God, it was
Amazing.
incredible. That was
Amazing.
phenomenal for me. I mean, they've all been good, but that one was, I had so much stuff happening and so many spiritual
I feel
downloads.
when it's in one of your signs, you kind of feel it.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I normally have like little twitches, spiritual downloads, maybe see different colors.
Yeah.
I had full on shakes,
Wow.
full on body shakes, different parts of my body. And yeah, and crying and spiritual downloads. And it was all just, it was incredible.
Yeah. Do you know, I love hearing feedback because like I similarly, even though I'm playing, had a really like profound experience for that sound bath. And at the end I felt really emotional. That doesn't always like happen either. And I'm a Pisces rising, so maybe like you were just to the point that you were just making it being in the sign, you might feel it a bit more. But yeah, I feel like that was I don't know why I'm hesitating to use the word powerful. I'm not really sure why I'm hesitating to use that word, but I felt like that was the most like potent and strongest sound bath that I facilitated. So, and a couple of other people mentioned and said the same thing because I have like some real loyal like attendees, including you guys, and so it's nice to always like know how it shifts, the changes, because you know they're never the same, they're always different, and the energy that we're kind of like tuning into is always different as well.
So many questions to ask you about it, but first about sound baths. But first, let us know a bit about you and a bit more about what sound baths or sound therapy, sonic healing is.
Yeah. Okay. So, I hate labels. I'm like, I try to like not, but hey, we all have to kind of like be framed as something. So I would call myself a multi-passionate creative, and I'm trained in crystal sonic therapy, which is essentially sound healing. That therapy is specific to alchemy crystal balls. And yeah, I'm also trained in life coaching, NLP, hypnotherapy. That's all like recent stuff in the last 4 to 5 years. And prior to that, I was a fashion buyer, left the corporate world for many reasons. So yeah, that's me in a nutshell. And essentially, I think that I feel like my deepest call is to help people have like the deepest connection that they can have with themselves, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through my artwork, whether it's through sound healing, whether it's just through friendship and conversation. I am so passionate about the fact that the best connection we can have is with ourselves first.
Mm.
You know, like when we have true connection with ourselves, it's so much easier to facilitate relationships. We understand our boundaries more, we know what we're willing to accept and not. And
Yeah.
so I love sound for the simple fact that it allows me to really sort of check in with myself, and then it helps me to help others do the same.
So Jazz, when you're,
Yeah.
sorry, can I just interrupt? When you're facilitating, then are you also receiving the benefits of the sound that you're creating? Like, are you also receiving it alongside? You have to
I would
have.
say so, yeah. Yeah, I mean, in a different way, because as a facilitator, I am sort of safeguarding the space and holding space in a way. So I definitely can't be in the moment with you all.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna receive.
Lose the session.
Yeah. We need someone to be holding the space. Yeah.
Yeah. But what it really helps me to do, or at least it's really confirming and validating for myself, is actually like, okay, when I'm in the deepest connection with myself and with source, because that's my only intention is ever to be a vessel, so to speak. You know, whatever everyone has kind of like come into the space to receive, I'm just there to facilitate that. And in those moments, I will get messages or instructions, so to speak, or downloads. And it's funny because there'll be times where I'm like, I'm not going to say that. Just keep on playing. No. And the voice or the kind of like feeling just gets stronger and stronger. It's like, girl, you need to say this right now. Someone needs this. So I'm like, okay. And then after the sound bath session is finished, I'll get like feedback, or someone will message me, and it will be like directly correlated to the very thing I was resisting to. So what I'm getting really good at is knowing when something's mine and when something isn't mine, when I'm supposed to like share. I'm just going to take the earrings out because I can hear them clanging against my it's really irritating.
No, but we're all here for the real. So
yeah. So yeah, in many ways, you know, I am receiving in that moment, just very differently to how you'd be experiencing it from the other side. So yeah.
I think like with some modalities, you have to keep one foot in and one foot out, because like you said, you're holding and safeguarding space for us, but at the same time you're a vessel as well. So
yeah,
one foot in, one foot out.
Yeah, exactly. Like I think being grounded is really important, and that's how I was trained. And I was really glad I was trained that way, because I remember my trainer, she was like, you know, some people you see them doing sound baths and they're like all away with the fairies, and you're like, are you grounded? Are you watching? You know, you safeguarded the space. And I'm always conscious of that. Like I hear that when I'm playing. I'm like, I'm so glad, because you can just go off with it, right?
yeah.
And every sound bath is different. I use different instruments as well, so I don't always use just my alchemy crystal bowls. I'll bring the chimes in. Often, not often actually, rarely, but I do use my shamanic handmade drum as well.
Oh,
Yeah,
the
chimes.
No, it was like the rain.
the waterfall shakers, the
Yes.
It's okay. I forget what it's just the name's just gone out of my head, but yeah, they're like shakers. I use that a lot for clearing like dense energy. Just like the space feels really clean.
Yeah.
But you know, these instruments and these tools are all amazing, of course, and they definitely amplify the energy. But even just kind of like clapping your house in your room, like clapping your hands in your room, just to kind of like clear space, is just as effective as any sound tool that I use. So
can you tell us how like sound and vibration helps to clear and help, like, can affect us?
Yeah, well, everything is energy. We're all energy, and anything that vibrates makes a sound, basically. So the smallest molecule to like the universe itself. We've all heard the well, I don't know if anyone's been on YouTube and like Googled what noise does Earth make, and it's
No, I haven't.
Have you not?
What? I didn't even know about that.
It's called the Schumann's resonance. You can and well, that kind of like dictates the frequency of like, you know, what frequency Earth is kind of like emitting. That's not the technical term, but you'll get what I mean. There's a more profound term than that. I'm paraphrasing, but I think when you listen to the sound that Earth makes, it actually corresponds to to that frequency. So everything makes sound if it's moving and vibrating. So essentially, within the core of us, like, we have our own unique resonance, our own frequency that we emit. And obviously life happens and we're constantly knocked off balance. And so the way that sound sessions, or the way that I hold sound session, is the intention is to kind of bring you back to your most harmonic state, your most harmonic resonance. And we're also made up of a lot of water, so it's like 75% water, and water is a great conductor for sound as well. So sound being frequency is going to affect everything within our body. So that's why, it's not just benefiting you hearing it, it's your every single cell feels the frequency. I mean, if you wanted to put it in really simple terms that everyone understands, it's just like music. And you play a sad song and it can make you feel emotional. You say a happy tune and you just want to get up and dance and vibe with it. Like, there are certain songs that just take you on a whole journey, and it's literally your body responding to that frequency. Like, your emotions kind of go through with it. And what's really interesting is something I learned before I got into sound healing was I can't remember how I got into this actually, or why I googled it, but I was listening to Bob Marley tunes and I was just thinking to myself, God, there's like not one Bob Marley tune that I don't like every song has a vibe. It's just so, like, feel good. And I came across it maybe on YouTube or reading it, I can't remember how, but it was someone had said that Bob Marley's music is most of his music is attuned to the frequency 528 hertz, which is the frequency of like healing and repairing yourselves.
Wow.
I don't even know how, like, obviously there's some sort of test that allows you to be able to kind of figure that out. But yeah, and I was like,
you feel good after listening to Bob.
Like, and also it's the energy that he, because sound frequency is one thing, but it's also the intention behind it. Like, we live in a world of polarity, so someone can give off some bad vibes in a song that sounds real good, and it's just you're gonna feel that.
But a few noughties tunes and when you listen to the lyrics, when you go back now,
exactly. But it's also like how we attune to it as well. So sometimes we're oblivious to these things, it doesn't affect us in a certain way, but if we're like tuning into it, it really can sort of shift us. But also what's really interesting is that the way that I work with sound, or the way that I was trained with sound, is that obviously we all have our own frequency. We have our electromagnetic field, which, when I was looking into this, apparently goes from our heart space, goes as far as like a football field. Apparently, like it goes far and wide beyond us. So when you think about, like, when you go into a place or a room or a space, or you walk into someone's like energy field and you're like, oof, not feeling that vibe. And so the conversation, even just how we say it, like, wasn't feeling the vibes, it's just so kind of like congruent with what we're feeling. Like, the frequency is just either off, we're just not in the same vibration as that other person or the energy in that space. So you might hear people say things like, I just knew not to go left or down that because of something felt off, because your heart and your electromagnetic field is actually like sensing the vibrations around us.
Sure.
So sound just helps to penetrate that in one aspect. And then also the way that it helps us is the fact that it shifts our brainwaves. So our brainwaves are constantly changing throughout the day, and sound just gets you into a deep state that gets you really relaxed, to the point where you're like close to sleeping but not, and that's where all the subconscious kind of like stuff can come up.
That liminal space where like you're in deep relaxation but you're not sleeping, you're aware but you're it's such a magical feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the description. I was like, yes, that's it.
So, like, what can people expect to feel if they were to? First of all, actually, like I've heard people say, "Oh, I want to go to an in real life sound bath before going online." But what I was really surprised with was that it still has such a powerful effect, even like online. It's absolutely crazy. So, like, is it just a matter of vibration and sound still being able to carry over? Like, how does it have such a visceral effect on us?
It's just a different experience. I mean, obviously, because you can hear it, you actually like physically feel the vibrations. I mean, there's reasons to go to in person or online. So in person, of course, you're probably going to feel it more viscerally. You're going to feel the vibration. You're in the actual kind of atmosphere with the bowl. So your hearing is going to like attune to all the delicious kind of like harmonics, which may not necessarily penetrate as strongly through Zoom, because that's the medium that I use. But yeah, I think when you are at home or online, there's a different level of safety that comes into play. So you're able to relax so much more deeply when you're in your own room.
Yeah.
And one thing that helps us to connect is feeling, really relaxed and safe in your space. And so you might be, in a room with me, but may not feel safe in that space next to other people, just not as relaxed. So then the actual experience kind of gets overshadowed by that. And obviously I try to do as best as I can to facilitate and get everyone into a real deep relaxed state. But just depends on like how you connect in spaces with other people. But yeah, at home, I think, you have that added advantage that like, okay, it's my space. You can set it up the way that you want it to be. You can get all your cushions, blankets, candles, crystals, whatever.
Right, and make a proper like. Yeah. Tell my son, listen, I'm doing my sound bath now. Blanket. Yeah. And then after, I'll be like, take yourself to bed because mommy's going to straight after. Oh my goodness.
Honestly, yes. Do you know what? The last one that you did, that's the first time I actually did candles and used some of my crystals as well. Because normally I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just like get comfy, have my blanket, get onto my bed. But I was like, no, I'm actually gonna bring select crystals and I line them all up, to mirror the chakras. And I was like, yeah, and then I'm gonna lie it. And I swear, like completely different experience. And then also that thing about going to sleep straight after, as soon we got to the end, I remember, Jazz, you were like, okay, so we're at the end now, and I'm just going to give you like another minute or so just to kind of be and to process, which I really appreciate, by the way, because I have been to sound baths where they give you such a short amount of time at the end to kind of arrive, I guess, back into like the very present. And I think that additional time that you give really makes a difference. But my point is that you were like, yes, I'm going to give you one more minute. And I was saying, telling Layla this, I was like, wow, I'm really, like, that was incredible. I went on such a journey, I was in such liminal space, but I'm really alert now. And I was like, okay, I'm just going to lie here and wait. Jazz, why did I wake up 15 minutes later? This is an hour later, 5 I was waking up and I was like, what?
She must be sleeping.
Literally, that last minute between you saying, give me 1 minute, and I was like, yeah, okay. Asleep. Somehow God, wake up an hour later, get out of bed. And I later on again and finally managed to get up and I was like, rah, this is
so transformative. I urge everyone to just try it. And
so releasing. I find it so releasing.
It just gives you what you need at the time.
Yeah, whatever you need.
And I wanted to ask as well, you spoke earlier about grounding yourself. Like how do you do that? Not just for like when you're gonna share your gift and be there, hold space for others, but in terms of like everyday life, because things be heavy, sis, sometimes. So like how
wow. I definitely Can things get heavier? Hopefully not. But like the whole world feels heavy. Like there's so much.
Yeah.
I just say, like, Black women as well, like, it's a lot.
Yeah.
And like, we need a box of tools, so to speak, to be able to be like, okay, like we need things to draw on to help regulate our nervous system. So like,
yeah. Oh my gosh, well, I mean, over time the tools have changed and they're still changing. And I don't know if there's any one that particularly stands out. I feel like first and foremost, to feel grounded in like everyday life is to like be checking in with where I'm at. And I'm not great at every day. I don't want to like make out like I'm so in tune and aligned. It's just like real life. I got 3 kids. Mummy sometimes shouting for about 20 minutes of the day. Listen, like, but I think it's just having, what I appreciate most is having a moment to myself, just to step away from noise and just like stillness. So I do try to have like at least 5 minutes stillness, and that doesn't always happen like first thing in the morning. That often happens when I've dropped them all off to school, nursery, and I'm like, okay, I'm going to eat breakfast now and just have mindful time. And I feel like for me that's really important to just to check in. And what I've been into recently, deeply down the rabbit hole with, is human design. And I have learned like how I respond to life, and there's like been a big acceptance additionally to stuff that I've worked on prior to this moment, but just kind of like, okay, I'm somebody who's always into stuff. Like I got itchy fingers, I want to be doing this and this and this, and I'm conscious, I'm conscious of that so much more now that I'm like, okay, Jazz, you can do like anything you want, but you can't do everything. So what's most important to you right now in this moment? Do you need to sleep? Are you tired? Are you hungry? Did you skip breakfast this morning? Like just like genuine curiosity. That's what grounds me, I feel like, the most. And of course that can then either spur off into like thinking, overthinking, or genuinely like, okay, like seriously, you need to just like rein it in, check in. So like maybe I need to go ground and go walking. Maybe I just need to like eat a good breakfast. Maybe I need to write my to-do list today because I'm not a fan of to-do lists either, and just kind of so that's like, I guess, general sort of life daily stuff. But kind of outside of that, or in addition to that, breathing techniques is really good for me for grounding, just to kind of get my nervous system settled. Like I can get into anxiety and hyper productivity really quickly, so knowing that exhaling longer than my inhale is going to actually help just let my nervous system know that you're safe, you're good, like ground, like visualizing myself like being grounded. And like I still refer, Layla, to your beautiful meditation that you did for my program last year. I just like, just find so much joy in that. So I still like refer to that. Even if I'm not listening to it, I hear your voice. I literally hear your voice. And when you're like grounding and rooting. No, seriously, it's one of the best grounding like meditations that I've like listened to. So I refer back to that a lot. And like I don't know, I sage a lot. I'm really conscious about the energy in my house. I have lots of plants around. But ultimately, like when I said just checking in, it's actually just checking in like the things that I'm saying to myself.
I love that.
And I don't want to go down the route of positive and negative, because we're here to experience everything and the whole spectrum of emotions as opposed to the experience. But I definitely try to just kind of like be like, okay, if that's a moment you're having, that's great, but let's not stay there forever. Like, I know what's the next kind of like
try
best emotion that I can because it is important to feel things, isn't it? It is important to allow yourself to just feel dense and heavy if that's where you're at in the moment, and not try to bypass that at all, because that's where the mutation happens. That's how we process it. If we're avoiding it all the time, we never shift through it. So
and it will come back and bite you.
It just
we know about that. We know about that.
When you least expect it to.
Exactly.
Wow.
Oh my God. Like seriously, that was a big thing for me last year. And you really helped me with that as well, with all the herbs and stuff that you created for me. But I, for months, was not listening to myself about resting. And I'd got into Oracle cards at the time, and I swear to you, every card I was pulling it was about rest. And I was like, yeah, that doesn't apply to me.
Oh, good.
I'm busy right now. I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I haven't got time for that.
Yeah, I was like, rest? What is that? And yeah, it caught up with me. Like, I had huge burnout. Took me like a whole 6, 7, 8 months to get through that, and I'm still working through that. Huge lesson was supposed to happen. It had to, like, and I think that's probably quite common with being like a manifesting generator. Like, you have all the energy in the world to just put into stuff, but when you're not directing it into things that you feel aligned with or feel like it's fun, then you can burn out. I mean, there's loads of ways you can burn out, but yeah, definitely felt that last year. So yeah, it is really important to tune in. So that's why I say it changes, it shifts all the time, because life, and we're cyclical beings, so things go through seasons when they need to.
Yes. What you mentioned right near the beginning of this talk that you were originally in fashion buying, right? How were you kind of drawn to sound and to like sound healing? Was it something you were always interested in, or was it as a result of working in a kind of a completely different environment, that imagining fashion buying to be the complete kind of opposite of a lot of what you've talked about? How did you kind of land at sound healing and sound therapy?
Yeah, I mean, it was over the course of like a year and a bit, actually. So I quit. Well, I was pregnant and moved back to Birmingham, and they thought I was going back, and I was like, I ain't not going back. I was like, this is it. So I was living in London, in London, and we were just at this point where we were like, okay, baby number 2, we can't be doing 2 kids in London with no family support because we're both from Birmingham. And opportunity came to purchase a home close to my sister, and it all just made sense to move back. And when I was transitioning back to Birmingham, I was thinking about the commute that I was doing. So I lived in Tottenham and I was traveling to London Bridge, heavily pregnant, like an hour and 20 there, hour and 20 back. And I was like, what is this? This is not life. And I couldn't think. I was like, how am I supposed to drop my eldest, because obviously I was doing school runs as well, so I dropped my like eldest to school and then like nursery and get to work by 9 o'clock, and the fashion industry is just like, wait, that's not a 9 to 5, that's like a 8 till 8 situation. So realistically I was like, this is just not going to work. So yeah, we moved back, and I was just thinking about what I wanted to do. I felt like, and my first child was he 4 or 5? I think he's 4.5 at the time. And I'd already kind of been through this kind of transition of like, who am I as a mum? Like that was a bit like wild. And so I'd already kind of started to transition through like, oh, who's Jazz as a mum? And because I don't like, for me, motherhood really threw me. It was just like, what is this? God. So that was a lot.
You didn't tell me about this.
Yeah, no, seriously. I remember saying to my mum, like, seriously, like, why does no one tell you about this stuff? Like, this is just really like, gosh, it was a lot. Anyway.
I hear this a lot.
Yeah. So then baby number 2, and that was all planned and stuff. And I was like, yeah, realistically, like, this isn't going to happen. Moved back to Brum, was contemplating. I think I applied for a couple of jobs around the West Midlands, which weren't fashion, but it was still like in retail. And I got offered a job. Yeah, I did. I got offered a job, said yes. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? No, like, no. You need to just tune into like what you need. And I always was ambitious about wanting to have my own business. I just didn't know what it looked like. And so I over the course of maternity leave and just kind of like having 2 children, I really tuned into like what my purpose was and what I felt it was and how I wanted to help people. And so I got into coaching first, got into life coaching, started doing workshops, vision board workshops, and then sound found me through different modalities, or different experiences, should I say, in trying to what's the word? Do the shadow work, basically, you know. And then when I listened to a couple of sound baths, I was just like, this. I just felt really called. I was like, where do I train?
Yes.
Where do I go? And that was it. That was it. Yeah.
I love how, you know, sometimes all the things we experience leads us to where we're meant to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Amazing. Oh my gosh. I literally cannot believe that it is time already.
Oh my God.
I know.
It goes super quick.
It goes too fast. We did just before we round up and close up. It's too fast. We know it's too short, but you know, you're getting a little taste. Yeah. A little bit of pepper, a tiny bit of seasoning. And if you want more, please do go and check Jazz out. Definitely attend. She's got a full moon.
Just tell us what's happening.
Oh, okay.
Moonage, don't worry, we're not close. We need to know what. Yeah, there's like we're rounding up, but there's a couple more things.
There's more.
So super importantly, yes, what's coming up for you? Where can people connect with you and find you and attend one of your sound baths or anything that you're creating? And 2, what tunes do you have on repeat right now? We need to know, because we we'll guess either tune or tunes. We add them to our Wild Within playlists. We have one on movement, one for nourishment, one for ritual, one for rest. So we always collect the goodness.
Okay. Oh my God, I'm gonna have to go to the files for that. So let me start with where you can find me. So you can find me on Instagram at Jazreena_Harlow. That's like my main place, to be honest. And of course, my website, which I'm in the process of updating and getting that all together. But you can email me at hello@jazreenaharlow.com if you have any queries or questions about anything. So I'm doing a sound bath this Friday for the full moon in Virgo. It's going to be spicy. I don't know why I said spicy.
But we spicy as well. Did you see?
Virgos are a bit spicy, so yeah.
Virgos are spicy, but it's softened with Mercury being in Pisces, so it doesn't feel like too structured. So I'm like what really came through for this sound bath was like a diamond energy. Don't know what I never really know until the sound bath's happening, like what that means. So yeah, that's going to be interesting on Friday. So my next sound bath after that is actually happening next Sunday in London. So Rose's Gabor has her interlude wellness retreat happening at London Edition Hotel. Tickets for that are slowly going. But yeah, that's the whole day of nourishment, and there'll be a live sound bath with me then. And yes, it's going to be amazing.
I don't know if I can make it. I'm going to my uncle's boat party, but
no party.
It's not a boat party.
I only get C6, so I'm like, oh no.
I feel you with that.
Yeah, transport to the London Edition Hotel.
But it's
Jazz.
Yeah.
So good,
seriously. And your light language as well in your previous sound bath.
Gosh, Jen, it's big.
Beautiful. Yeah. It's beautiful. My gosh.
So yeah, people, get yourselves in real life or a little taster on Friday to see what it's like. Honestly, you won't regret it. It will move something within you, guaranteed.
Yeah, for sure.
We interrupted you, sorry.
Yeah.
No. Like, yeah, that's the last live official thing that I'm doing right now. There are things coming in the pipeline that are not confirmed yet, so I can't really share them. But I am working on like collabs, like doing retreats or like sound and food or circle and food.
Yes.
So over summer,
Come
there
on.
should be a couple of opportunities for that, but I will always do my monthly sound baths, and I tend to kind of stick to one, but at the moment, because I feel like more capacity, I have that, I'm kind of doing new moon and full moon, depending on like if I'm in the place to facilitate. So yeah, there's not like, I say it's a bit sporadic, but that's just generally because I'm a mom, I've got lots of things going on, and I just want to make sure that if I'm putting things out that I can, you know, I'm giving the full attention. So
Yeah.
so yeah, that's kind of it, and hopefully like in the future that will expand to being a little bit more structured and having more in-person sound baths. I've done a couple in Birmingham recently, so you know, I'll be getting out there a little bit more now that things are officially opened.
Yeah. Wonderful.
I'd love to like see you live one day.
Same.
Yeah.
Amazing. And,
yeah, being in person is so lovely. Like, you know, I do love my online, but you know, it is special to be, you know, with everyone's energy and just kind of like pouring into you there. It's just amazing. So yeah.
Can't wait.
Maybe can wait. And to close, give us a tune.
Oh my god.
It could even be an oldie, actually. And if you can't think of one.
Do you know what? I'm going to go with Bob Marley because I feel like his energy was in our space today.
Yeah.
So let's do that. So what Bob Marley song should we go with? Gosh, is this the official name, The Sun Is Shining? Because I feel like spring is
Oh my
coming.
God. Just perfect. Gorgeous.
But do you like the original version? Like not the dancing new version, the original?
Yeah. Populated original.
Yes.
Love you, Jazz.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Honored, and thank you for sharing your gift, your time, your energy, and yeah, like people's get into it.
Yeah. You know what to do. Find Jazz there. At a sound bath in person very soon, hopefully.
Thank you.
You're a beast. Thank you, Jazz.
All right, guys.
Bye, guys.